everybody's throat. And the problem is that studio just isn't very good. And trying to get things to work here is not working.
It says we're live.
Restore chat. So who knows if we actually are live? If we are live, please do let us know, because I'm seeing like 4 different settings for what works and what doesn't work. And none of these things. Hey, English Butter Patterdale. Are you actually getting this? Which feed are you on? Hey, Dimitri. Is this working for everybody? Better. Yay, I love you guys. Good. Hey, Matt. Good to see you.
Hi.
Hey, so for those of you that are just joining us and wondering why are they going all crazy and everything, I have no feed from this one, so we don't have that. So that's a bit difficult. We're going to delete this and exit out of that.
New stuff's always fun to do on the fly.
Yeah, no, YouTube has changed a lot of stuff, and I'm glad the hair looks good.
Thanks, Tori.
Thanks, James. So if you'll notice over here, this isn't changing because YouTube has a different setup now. And so that was the one I had it set up for, and now it's given us a different one, and I can't get it on the screen. So I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that. So Jocelyn is going to give a talk about a few things while I try to get these things to work. So don't mind me working while she's talking.
Okay, so on that first one, there had been a couple of questions I wanted to ask. There's no way for me to go back and find it and tell you what those questions were. Darn it. Someone was asking about pesos versus US dollars while in Mexico. And it really depends on where you're going. So if you're somewhere like Cancun, where it's like a lot of really touristy things and stuff like that, the dollar is fine. But if you're somewhere outside those areas and you're like a little more rural and things, you might want to just go ahead and do the pesos. And we always recommend to take pesos or whatever, local currency out at like ATMs and things like that. So I wanted to give you that. And another person asked about going to cenotes in Mexico. If there's any specific one we would recommend. And to be honest, there isn't a specific one. There are tons of tours going from Cancun and taking you out to different cenotes, so you're very able to get those. And they might be a little more touristy than some that you could do otherwise, but that's a good fun one to do.
All right, so I think that's
okay. So I think we're all good.
No, still not
we're
working.
Not
right.
good. Oh shoot!
Hello from Brazil. What's it go? Okay. All right.
Boy, Brazil.
Hi, Caesar. Okay, so hopefully these things are starting to go through now. Okay, that's good. I do apologize for all these issues. Those who don't know, YouTube likes to change things up. It's not just the algorithm people talk about. It's also the settings behind it. They came out with a new Studio Beta, which works so much worse than everything else. Like all the information you want to find is now difficult to find. Obviously, trying to do live streams become more complicated. So it looks a lot cooler. Like when you look at it, it's a lot cooler. But when you actually want to use anything, it's worthless. But that's why form follows function. And they made it look cool, but they didn't have any function in it. So that was one of the problems. Anyway.
Things are always difficult, right? It takes time to get the bugs out for them and for all of us to figure out how to use them.
They've had plenty of time, but anyway.
Yeah.
So someone enjoyed your cartwheel when you were in Guatemala. That was very nice. D did.
I don't know. What cartwheel?
You did cartwheels in the background. Yes, you were doing cartwheels in the background.
Yeah, I was a gymnast in a previous life.
Yes.
Like when I was 12.
Anyway, hey, Lincoln Riddle, good to see you, buddy. Lincoln's got another travel channel. He's a nice guy. You can go check him out, Lincoln Riddle. Just go look up Lincoln Riddle travel videos. He can help you out. Some good stuff there. So Jared is going to Sydney, Australia. Well, you're 20, you have a good time. There's plenty of going out places there, plenty of outdoor stuff to do. You're not going to have any problems at all. If you're 20, I'd probably do a hostel because you'll meet a lot of people there. People are super friendly. And super fun, so you'll be doing really good when you're there. Ben, we did see Endgame, we did like it, but we will do no spoilers, so don't put any spoilers in there. And so we have
Nobody
that.
Say anything.
Yes, there is that.
But it was good.
Hey, Dominic in North Carolina, good to see you. Hey, Massachusetts Mapping, good to see you there too. Travel more YouTube, yes. Less,
Hi, Def
Pete.
Leopard. We have been to only China and Japan as far as Asia goes, but we have plans to go to more. It's just a little bit of time before we get there. So
No, it was in your room.
those long trips, those far away places
Check by that side of the bed.
With time with the kids and their school schedules and Mark's schedule and things, and on top of it, just it's more expensive. So we'll get there. We'll get to more. Definitely want to.
Yep. Thank you, Mason. I appreciate the kind words for the greatest YouTuber thing. No problem. No problem, Lincoln. Glad I can help. Holly, how you doing? Andrew asks, where should I go in the Netherlands? When should I go? I would go, April, May, because you can still get the flowers and you get to get out. There's not a lot of backpackers yet and stuff like that, so you have a good time. Obviously, Amsterdam's great, but getting out to the small towns outside of it, like Leiden and Haarlem, are really nice. Utrecht's another good town. Groningen is also cool. There's a lot of small places you can get to. And what's cool is the country's so small and the rail network is so good, you can get around anywhere pretty easily and pretty quickly. So do have a heads up for that. If you're going to be staying, I'd recommend staying outside of Amsterdam if you're there on a weekend, because it's so expensive on the weekends in Amsterdam that might be good to spend somewhere else on the weekend, then come to Amsterdam like Monday through Wednesday or something like that. So there is that.
Hola, Jose, SLB. We're hoping for a good championship this year. Mario is asking about El Salvador, and funny enough, Mark and I were just talking about that last night, kind of trying to plan for 2020. We're only 4 months into 2019, and we're really working on 2020 hard. And El Salvador is definitely on the list for next spring. So we're hoping. We've got like a 5-day weekend in that, and so we're kind of hoping to be able to manage that. So
take kids out a little bit longer, hopefully get a little more time. So any good stuff there. Hey Wallace, I haven't been to Guernsey or Sark, so I can't really give you any like tips, because that's one of the personal advice. That's why I never feel comfortable giving anything that I haven't been to, because other people can find stuff out online, and I don't want to be like the people that copy other people. So I don't have anything personally. I mean, I've had friends who've gone there, they've had a good time, but I don't have much for me. Boa noite, Ed Childs. Good to hear from you. Katie Rocky asks, planning a trip to Portugal, do you recommend flying TAP Portugal or a different airline? Well, we always fly Delta, as you all know. I used to fly TAP a lot when I did my PhD in Portugal, and they were fine. TAP now has a deal where you can stay in Lisbon or stay in Portugal for a few days, then fly on the rest of Europe. When we flew back from Lisbon last year, quite a few people were complaining about TAP that were flying back to the U.S., but we flew TAP from Morocco to Portugal, didn't have any problems. I mean, don't expect a ton of stuff, but
it's kind of a more basic airline. But you know what?
It's not low cost. It's not low cost.
It's not, but it's not like really fancy service or anything like that. We did fly them a lot when we lived in Portugal, to other places, and they were excellent. Everything went off without a hitch, and we didn't have issues, so I don't have any complaints about it. Somebody asked about Jordan, and we are going to Israel later this year, and so we're kind of hoping to squish in like a day, just more than a day, but like get a little bit of time in Jordan there.
So don't expect too many videos.
It won't be a lot. It's going to be really short, but we really want to get there while we're nearby, so we're hoping.
Hey Mason, we're going to try to get Antarctica when the boys are a little bit older. So that is one of those things. Someone in here was writing to Rob from Trip Hacks DC. Rob does a really good job. If you're looking to go to DC,
really
he's good. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he's a good guide. So check him out. Guide. So there is that.
Okay.
Penny Whitaker, hello from Central Illinois. You are so very right. Very few good informational videos on travel in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I need Wolters World Aruba. That would be nice. Planning Spain and Portugal. So Penny may, we talked about this before. We started doing some stuff. I got a few Belize videos out. We filmed in Turks and Caicos. We filmed in Jamaica, and I still have to put those videos together because when we were doing research, there was nothing worth anything.
Much.
I mean, it's more a lot of
pictures because it's beautiful.
Yeah, but there was it was a lot of fashion bloggers and lifestyle bloggers and vloggers, and they're like, oh, we're going there on boys trip, girls trip, whatever, and they didn't really help. It was just look at these beautiful sites, and that's what we have. So there is that. So that's why we want to do some more. So we will have those coming out soon, and we'll be doing more Caribbean stuff later this year too. So hopefully we'll get enough stuff out there to help out people. Hey, so OG, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks.
That's very nice of you. It says, hi guys, besides blogging and YouTube, any other ways you can make money from traveling?
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, like social media. There's plenty of social media stuff.
A lot of it is sponsorship too.
Yeah, there's sponsorship stuff. We don't do sponsorships yet, so there's that. But no, they're looking for travel, making money. Some places I've met people that when they're traveling, what they'll do is they'll kind of barter for services. Like I think we were in Nicaragua. Yeah, we're in Nicaragua, and we were at there's a lake inside a volcano. And so when we were leaving, this guy goes, I do what that guy does. And he knew who I was. I didn't know him. He's like, yeah, I go around and I travel and I write up stuff. And what I'll do is I do a write up or I'll fix the websites for these places I stay. And they kind of pay me back in free accommodation with that. So some people do those things. But, and if you can get a job that can do your digital nomad stuff, that's really helpful too. Maybe if you want to be a virtual assistant or something like that, so you get money on the side while you travel. There are things you can do that aren't just based when you are traveling. Eric Brown, thank you for the super chat. Iceland, worry about driving, any fun tours? Yes, if you're going to be by Reykjavik, you can do the driving. Not really any problems except for some one-lane bridges. We have a video.
They're really not that bad. Yeah, we have pullovers. The first couple are scary.
Yeah.
But after that, you're used to them and it's not so bad. I did all of the driving when we were in Iceland. And quite frankly, near Reykjavik and the Golden Circle, right around there, it's really easy. People are very polite drivers there. If you're going out and you're doing the whole ring around the country, you can manage it. But they're in the eastern and also the western fjords. It can get a little dicey with some of those backcountry roads sort of things. So pay attention to what the locals tell you and go with them.
Yeah. There are plenty of tours if you don't want to do that going out of Reykjavik, but there is those things. So you'll be okay. Time for a kiss. Hey, we missed you. I haven't had a kiss for months because I haven't seen you on here, buddy.
So
top 3 movies, TV, books that inspire you to travel. Joseph Rosendo, Travel Scope on PBS. Yeah, that man cares about culture, cares about people, and cares about people wanting to learn about that. Which for me, he is like the best.
He is my favorite travel dude.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to Rwanda specifically because his stuff was so inspirational and stuff like that. I mean, that guy's, for me, that's a show that inspires me to travel, inspires me to do stuff, inspires me to do a better job of helping other travelers. So Travel Scope for there.
We love him.
Books, any travel book, any history of anything gets me going. So
history books totally get even like novels and things set in different places can totally excite me about that too.
So Eliezer Vasquez, thank you very much for the super chat. Hey, in West Palm Beach, Florida. I am jealous, by the way. Any recommendations on things to do in Lima, Peru? So Lima, you have the cathedral downtown. There's some museums downtown, the historic part. There's some other churches you can go to. Easy to get around, some good food to have. But if you're going there, I would actually recommend staying in the Miraflores district. There's a nice park there to hang out with. There's market stalls during the weekend, stuff like that. Tons of restaurants and hotels in Miraflores. A little bit safer part of town. You can get down to the beach and some statues and stuff like that. If you are in Lima, there are some day trips you can do when you are there. But basically, you're going to use Lima maybe 3 days. Like fly in, there's that day, a day to go and see the old town, and then a day to see Miraflores, and you can fly out to Cusco or Arequipa or Nazca or wherever you're going next. But it is a nice town. There's tons of really good restaurants in Lima.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We were so surprised at the food in Peru, just generally. Supreme Travelers heard that we had an unsatisfactory trip to Pisa, and what did we not like?
The over-the-top rip-off tourist restaurants. The really crappy service that is not typical Italian. The not very good food when we were there.
That much to do.
There's a couple museums. The thing is it's so much for that tower. It's almost like if the tower wasn't there, you wouldn't expect more just because the tower is so famous.
Right.
Actually, I think the baptistry is prettier.
I like the baptistry too. So anyway, it's not that we don't like Pisa. It's more like the service and things that go along with it that made it kind of sucky.
Yeah. So Animal Lover, I want to do a solo trip to Ireland. Is driving hard to drive on the other side. No, just at first, it's a little like rough, but in Ireland they have so many signs saying, don't forget we drive on the other side.
And your car, some of the cars now are equipped with like lane things that kind of beep at you or whatever and tell you, hey, yo, get in the other lane. But you know what? The hardest thing for me about driving on the opposite side of the road is putting my seatbelt on. No joke. I'm constantly I get in and I'm on the right side and I reach over here to get my seatbelt. And I also tend to look up and to the right for my rear view mirror rather than to the left. So those the muscle memory things are more difficult than the actual driving because it's sort of the same thing and you're paying attention and you know what you're doing once you kind of get used to it.
So Adrienne writes, Mark, how do you get so fluent in German? Any tips on learning a new language for study or long-term travel to a particular country? Here's some things I always tell people. We actually have videos that talk about this. If you learn how to learn a foreign language, I have like 7 or 8 tips. 1, you got to take it seriously. Like it's not a joke thing. 2, take a real class. Don't just memorize a guidebook because all you do is memorize, a travel book or a travel like phrases. You only learn how to answer that one question. That doesn't work. Watch some shows you actually know really well in that language with subtitles, and that can help
like
you
the
as well.
Simpsons or something.
Yeah, and then if you have a chance to talk to locals, that's going to help you as well. Hey. So hey, Def Leppard Rules Rock. Thank you very much for the super chat. That is cool. Things doing Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, outside the resorts. I'll be honest, when you're looking at Cabo and Acapulco, you don't have much outside the resorts. There are some places you can go and do some things, but it's not like Cancun that has the cenotes and Mayan stuff and things like that.
There's not a pile of stuff right nearby.
Sorry, man. I mean, it's like going out fishing and going in the water and those kind of things. I mean, that's the big deal there. Scott Vila, is Costa Rica good in June? That's when my son and I are going. It's better than going in September, October, early November when it's rainy season. It's going to be hot. I know when we were there, people still go at that time. The busiest time is around Christmas and New Year's. That's the really busiest time, but you should be okay when you are there at that time. We've gone twice. We went New Year's and spring break.
Spring break. It was always early.
Yeah, it was fine. And they said you'd be fine at those times. So there's some good stuff. Now you had some other questions.
I had a couple of them. Give me just a second to find. Okay, Olga, we do not use Walks of Italy nor Live Italy when
we did use Walks of Italy.
We did?
Yes, we used Walks with students. Sorry. So when I took a group of students, and someone else wanted to talk about this, they're looking at taking high school students to Europe. If you're looking at doing that, if it's your first time taking a group, I would recommend using some organization that does like ETF or something like that. That helps set those things up the first time to get a good feel for it. There's a guy called Learn German with Herr Antrim. He's a high school German teacher, and he's done some of those things. I think he talks about a little bit on his videos. You might want to check him out or write him because he is another high school teacher that's done this. You want to keep him occupied the whole time to keep him out of trouble. That's one of the big things. But your first time, definitely go with a company. After you do it a couple of times, then it becomes more, you know where you want to go. You want to go back to the same places so you feel more comfortable and you know people there.
New Jersey Garden Gal asked, how many euros should I take for 10 days in Europe? You know what? It really depends on the country you're going to and stuff. So what we do is save it up, put it so that you can access it with your debit card and take it out as needed. So
let's see. Dominic, have you been to Fatima, Portugal? Yes, I've been to Fatima very many times. When I lived in Lisbon, people would come. I'd always take them there. We have not been to Lourdes, France, though. Tony Honecker, thanks, man. That's awesome of you for the super chat. For those of you who don't know, what you see over here and what we see is there's like a big delay. So don't think we're not listening to you. It's just we don't always get the timing as quickly. So headed to Scotland in a couple weeks. Thanks for all the reviews and the hints for travel. Your advice was great. Thank you so much. That's really nice of you. I'm glad it was helpful. I'm glad we could do something to help out. That's really nice. Oh, another one, Michael Mann. Michael's been on a lot of chats lately. He's been commenting quite a bit. It's been very helpful. So hey, Mark and Johnson, thanks for spoiling us with another live stream. Glad we can. Rented a car in Italy. Recommendations on insurance. Get the insurance. For those of you coming from the U.S. Now in Europe, I don't know because I do not have European insurance. But in the U.S., lots of your insurance companies will cover you in a rental car. The thing is, that's only in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., like if you're going to, well, maybe not Canada, like mine takes Canada, but if you're going to Europe, you're going to need to get insurance when you are there, because you have to have it. Otherwise, they'll nail you for it. You have to make
little things. Yeah, on the little stuff.
Yeah, always make sure you do a whole walk around for all those things, just for the peace of mind. I mean, it costs a lot to get the full insurance on these things. That's where they're really making their money. That's why they can show the lower prices. But it's always charge stuff. I know we got a nice huger bill when we rented a car in England this year. So
that was fun.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, that's
so excited.
I was like, there's like a few hundred extra on here. What's going on? Anyway, so Deanne James, going to Bangkok in June, have a layover for a couple hours in Tokyo. I was wondering if we have to go through customs and passport control to get the main stops. Yes. If you stay in the airport for any of these things, you don't really go through because you're still going to another country. But if you're going to go into the city, you are going to have to do stamps. And you're going to have to do all those things. So,
but she said in Narita or Haneda.
Those are two airports.
Those are the airports. So if you're staying in there,
if you're staying in the airport and you're staying
the shops within the
airport,
airport,
you should be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Yep.
So Olga, yes, we'll be getting to Mexico City. Don't worry about that. Slayer, I hope you have fun in London the first time. It's a really good place to go, especially for a first time traveling. That's really cool. Costa Rica, Lydia, if you're going to go to Costa Rica, it's all about nature stuff. Learn how to surf. You go to uber touristy places like Jaco or in the north.
Ooh, and Manuel Antonio's
great, but there's a lot of outdoor and like national parks and stuff you can go to.
Zip lining. There's a lot of adventure stuff too. Yeah. Also, we did a cooking class that was really excellent. Mm-hmm. We totally enjoyed that. So, hi Nicholas, thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Up in Canada, what day trip should I do from Rome this fall? So if you're in Rome, you can do a little bit farther day trips. If you want to go down to the Amalfi Coast, you could maybe. I think it's like 2.5 hours to Naples. But you can down to Naples and see that. I mean, because there's so many, like on the fast train lines, you could do Florence for a day if you really wanted to. There's a lot of things you actually could do that you're not limited for as long as you get up early and get going.
Yeah, no, I'm just listening to you.
So those are some easier ones to do because just main train station, Termini Station to Florence, Termini Station to Naples. You could do that. And Naples, I think a day trip's all you really need for there. If you're going to go to the Amalfi Coast, I'd spend some more time, I guess.
Billy asks,
this thing is, you understand, these things are like on ours.
Jumping like 5, 10, 15, 20.
20 at a time. So I apologize for missing out.
So anybody. Billy, somebody on there, Billy asked best beach vacation in the world. I can't tell you because I haven't been to every beach in the world. That's my answer. I do love the Caribbean though.
Yeah, I would think for beaches, like going to the beach and having beautiful water.
Beach stuff?
The Caribbean, you can't beat the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great places there. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love the Greek Isles and stuff like that, but for beaches, like beach vacations,
just beach,
you can't beat the Caribbean.
The Caribbean's where to go. But then there's like things like Bali and stuff that we haven't done yet, so I can't really say that yet.
But there's a reason why they film all those videos there because it's just so gorgeous. Hey Malcolm, thank you in New Zealand. Hey, I hope you're all doing well. We're trying to figure out how to get down to you guys to have enough time. So we're trying to figure some stuff out there. Zachary Levine, hey, I'm graduating, done with my final marketing class at my university. Don't have to take the final to graduate. Congratulations, awesome. All you that are going to be graduating this year. We wish you all 1,000 congratulations for all that. Oh yeah, sorry. Olga had a good one for a day trip. For day
trips from Rome. Okay.
So Alexander Emily, can I get good prices for hotels and other tours in Italy in September? Just go online. Just put your dates in. They'll give you the time of the hotels. I find hotels in Italy be about the same price, the middle place hotel in the U.S.
And even September is kind of like is a shoulder season. So if you're not, especially in places that aren't terribly touristy, you're definitely going to get a really good deal. But like really touristy cities, it might be a little bit more. But I think you'll still have pretty good luck there.
April, is there anywhere you haven't traveled yet? Yes, a lot of Asia and a lot of Africa. We got to get those places, so we're doing that.
There's a lot of world out there.
We're on to Tanzania this summer. We're going to be hitting some of the Middle East this winter, fallish, and some more Caribbean stuff. So we're trying to get more places in there. Hey, in Romania, we're also looking to get back to DCU because I was there before I was making Wolters World by a year. So we got to get back for that. Corey Wilkerson, thank you very much for the super chat. We got a good deal on tickets to Hong Kong. Took the kids. They had a blast. Very interesting area and easy to introduction to Asia. That is very true. I know a lot of expats have gone to Hong Kong for work and never wanted to come back because they loved Hong Kong. EJ Slim from Joliet. Hey, how's it going? We will do one in Wisconsin. We're looking to do a U.S. road trip set of videos next year. I know it's going to be a bit off, but we might get up to the Dells in Wisconsin, do some fun stuff with the kids and their friends later this year. But yeah, we'll eventually get some stuff on there because we want to try to do some show more of the small places in the U.S. For travelers instead of just being all these crazy places around the world. So we're doing the best we can to get as much as we can, but it's tough sometimes.
Alex has asked, I think I saw it earlier too, maybe something about whether or not we'd ever experience any paranormal activities while traveling. And I haven't. And we've been in some really old places. We went to that, what was the creepy place? The Hill House. What was
Rose
that?
Hall.
Rose Hall in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right outside Montego Bay, or I guess it's still in Montego Bay. But it's creepy, but there was nothing paranormal. We've been a lot of
but if you're gonna
go
go there and do that, if you have kids, go during the day, because it actually can be a little scary how because they do the whole ghost, they play it up.
People,
and do
they
all the
have actors and stuff in there. We had to take Liam out.
Yeah, I know. So I had to get the whole thing.
Liam doesn't like anything scary.
São João das Letras. No, I think it's São João das Letras. There's a town in Minas Gerais, which is like the Area 51 of Brazil. And when I was there, this is like way before we were chatting, there was like exactly at like 2:01 in the morning. Every morning I was there, all the dogs in town barked for 2 minutes, then stopped. It was like really weird.
Zachary asked if we own any of those scratch off maps where you can scratch off the countries. We do. Actually, we have 4 of them. Each of us have our own. And I have to say that scratching off all of Russia took me a really freaking long time.
I was saying, and if you're going to do one, what I like is you get the ones that have the different colors by country, because some will have like by continent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different ones. And if you don't try, like there's ones just for the States, the US, or just for Europe. So you can kind of focus on your area and just do that. So that's what's kind of cool. Brady P, thank you very much for the super chat and welcome back.
Service.
Thank you for your service.
Home.
Welcome back from South Korea. I'm glad you had a good time. My dad used to work there. He loves South Korea as well. So hopefully we will get there.
I have a really good friend from South Korea that I went to college with, and I would love to go back there and see him and his family too.
Okay, time for a kiss. Spinning these back or $5 for that one. Thank you so much, by the way, for the super chat. One word to describe the people of the U.S., Mexico, UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and Scandinavia. That's a lot in one word.
Rick Steve says French people are complicated.
No, I say French people are not complicated. French people are underrated. People have all this horrible impressions and all these things about France and the French people, and it's just based on Paris. It's based on waiters in Paris who are jerks, okay? The rest of the people we met in Paris and around France are awesome. We're going back to France twice this year because we love France. So there is that.
How many times did people, like when we had Liam there in his stroller, and people would help us and literally help us
get the stroller over the thing to get into the metro? It was awesome.
And it happened several times.
And this was at major sites too. This isn't just like, in the back where people are no. This is like, I know, like lady in her brief, she'll help you out. It was
really
awesome.
Good, kind people. I've never found them to be anything but good. I liked it. So Veronica Jimenez, thank you. I'm glad that our stuff was helpful about Santorini and Athens, and I'm glad you got there. By the way, Christos Anesti, it's Greek Easter, so
Alitos Anesti, there we go.
Oh, Germany Travel Personal Guide. Hello, howdy from Florida.
Hello there, Darian. How are you doing, buddy?
This is our friend Darian, and
go dogs.
Go dogs. He has just started a YouTube channel on Germany and travel, and he does guiding and stuff. So
he's
nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you, buddy. Let's see. Jordan, how much petty cash should we take to Cancun for a week? 2 people. And have y'all been to Harry's in the No, I haven't been to Harry's, so that's too bad. So in terms of petty cash, when you are there, pretty much everywhere you go, you can pay with credit card, except if you're going to be going to a few, if like you're going to buy some souvenirs and stuff like that, then you need some cash. I mean,
you don't need a ton.
You don't need a ton. And especially if you're an all-inclusive, you'd be very little.
Then you really don't.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on that one.
Pink Pearl Disney Wishes. I saw your name fly by earlier, and I didn't get to see the question. I just saw your name. So if you have it, go ahead and holler, okay?
Yeah, we kind of miss our thing sometimes.
They've been flying tonight, so.
EJ Slimp, LA has a lot of airports. Which one is the best? Flying to LAX is the one you want to go to. That has all the connections for LA. Hey, Justin, we will be getting down to Melbourne, Australia, and in Melbourne as well. Just trying to figure out the time, because for that distance to get down there, we want to make sure we can spend at least a month or 2, and it's kind of hard with the kids' schedule, so we're trying to figure those things out. But we want to get there. I used to live in Temora, New South Wales. I was an exchange student there by Wagga, and I want to go see my family down there. The Wrights, they're wonderful people, so I got to see them again. James Webb, are the waiters that much worse in Paris compared to others in Europe? Yes. Yes, they are.
And we love Paris.
Yeah. So Adi Ali,
that bad.
yes, Adi Ali. Any plans to travel to Pakistan? One of my buddies actually works there, and we're trying to put something together there in the future. So it's not out of the question. So we hopefully we'll get there back there. Yeah, Marcel writes, when are you going back to Toronto? I don't know, but I'm watching the Raptors game going, I need to get back up there. So we've had some good times when we are there. Oh, so time for a kiss. One would describe the people of the U.S. Friendly, Mexico, amazing, UK, reserved, France, like I said, underappreciated, I think. German, professional, Spain, fun, Italy, crazy, Scandinavia, quiet. Queen?
Oh, Scandinavia is like, they are quiet, but it's
quiet.
Also like the cleanest place. I love going there.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Eric Brown, have you all been to the 50 states? I haven't.
I have been to
like 46 or something.
46 or 47. I think that I am just missing Alaska, Hawaii, and I don't know if I have both Oregon and Washington. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on those because that was when I was young. So yeah, we need to do a little bit more.
So David Garza, hey, I'm glad you had a good time in Chicago, and I'm glad the videos could help. Hey, Adrian, we have not been to Bali. That's another one of those long trips trying to figure out how to put together the Southeast Asia and Bali and stuff like that. So we're trying to get to some of these places, but we have I have a full-time job too, and so it's hard to like get everything in. So we have to pick and choose, and sadly some things don't get picked, and I feel horrible because there's so many great places and so many great people, and you all ask us to go places we want to do more, but excuse me, I'm a professor and I have to be here to teach sometimes. So
Nicole asks, what was your favorite thing to do in Scotland? For me, it was just driving and stopping. I like to just be able to not have a plan, and we were able to do that really easily in Scotland. And like we would just stop and we would go climbing, or we would just stop there like, oh, there's a cool castle over here, let's go see it, Yeah. So that was my favorite thing. Is just it was very free for us.
Privyet, Carl. It's good to see you there. Hey, so there's one up here I wanted to look at. Oh, somebody they never been overseas. Nicole Z never been overseas. My dad used to live in Vicenza, Italy. We'll be back in Vicenza this year because we love it. That's where our friends are. We have a lot of friends there, so we'll make some new Vicenza videos to help you see where your dad used to live. And we actually do have a bunch out there if you want to see some to help out.
Okay, north reserved but fun. Take a while. South very friendly, absolutely.
You need to tell them what question you're reading, babe.
Pink Pearl Disney Wishes. It's not a question. She was just commenting, and I would agree for that.
So Marcel Robinson, I'm going to Toronto in August. Do I dress warmly? No. Don't worry, it doesn't snow in Canada, in Toronto in August. You'll be fine. You'll be surprised how hot you are. Shorts and a t-shirt will be probably just fine. Okay, so don't worry about that. Melissa saying, you're a professor. Yep, I teach marketing. Actually, if you want to check out, we actually have a second channel I just started called Professor Wolters. And it's where I put it's where I'll be putting videos for my classes. And like, if someone will start up a YouTube channel, we're going to do stuff to help them, or people that watch YouTube that have questions. Because we get a lot of questions that people write us about YouTube. And so we're like, you know what, why don't we put these together on another channel? Because I don't want to put them on the travel stuff because we want to focus on travel there. So there'll be some other cool stuff there.
So someone had asked about guidebooks. Which ones do we like most? Mark really loves Lonely Planet, mostly because he loves the maps inside of them.
Maps.
And I really like National Geographic Traveler as prep beforehand because they give a lot of that National Geographic kind of spin on things, and you get a lot of the history and stuff. So those would be our two favorites, just generally speaking. There was one right under that. Oh, how difficult is it to rent an automatic in Europe? Do it ahead of time.
Yeah, do it ahead of time.
And it won't be such a problem. But don't think you can just show up and rent it. Also be prepared to spend a little bit more money. Often it costs more to get an automatic. So there you go.
Hey, Dimitri, I'm sorry. No, I don't speak Russian. Yes, I can do like Меня зовут Mark, как дела? Хорошо, плохо, bad. Yeah, I know this. I know this. Does that translate well? That was for you, Dima. So there's those things. See, safest countries for single female travelers. Honestly, any place in the world could be dangerous for a female traveler. And any place could, well, not any place, but a lot of places can be safe.
I felt really great in Japan. Like Tokyo, that I felt very comfortable there. it is a big city, so pay attention. You pay attention anywhere, but I felt like that there, and I felt like Iceland was really easy. I have done Paris and Amsterdam with just like me and a couple of girlfriends and stuff, and you know, they're big cities, but if you pay attention, it's not so bad. EJ asks if we've been to any Rev War or Civil War battlefields, and we have. I actually used to work on a location. It was a nonprofit, and we had a Rev War battle site there, and we had rebuilt the what's the thing called?
Redoubt.
The redoubt.
I'm a good husband. I remember
I
these
helped
things.
build it, and I can't think of the word, but I did. I worked on one in Savannah, so. Okay.
So, Ellie, yes, there are plans to go back to Puerto Rico as we continue to do more of Caribbean and those kind of things there. That'll be coming up. Benjamin Brammer, thank you for the super chat. We did put out like 4 child travel videos. We will have some more about. We have one for
we're gonna do about packing for toddlers. Okay. Oh, and also like just traveling with a newborn. Like I did packing for a newborn, but I also want to do something about like
transportation.
Yeah, the transportation end of it. So we'll do transportation for babies, and also for toddlers. Then I got to get packing for toddlers too.
Yeah, just those videos. Like no one's watching them, but we know they're helping.
Nobody watches.
No
them.
one's watches
Not
them.
very many. But
yeah,
the people who watch them, I think they're helpful.
They're helpful. So that's one thing. So I'm glad that
still
people are asking, so we know how to do those. Darren and Ashley, thank you very much for the super chat. Any recommendations on a city to take a day trip to in Germany from Amsterdam before taking a night train to Switzerland? From there, you might as well. Well, you could just do the one over to Cologne for a day and come back, but then you might as well just take the train down from Cologne. Like go in the morning, and then there's lockers in Cologne, and you could drop off your bags there, then take the train down to Switzerland from there. That could be something to look at. Trier is also a nice town. You might be able to get to it. Or Aachen is also nice, but I'm not sure which train line you'll be going down, so you want to check out those things. Trier's is a Roman city. Aachen has the stuff from Carl de Gaulle, Charlemagne, so you can check those things out.
Time for a kiss. Call a place paradise, kiss it goodbye. You agree? I don't know. If too many people call it paradise, I guess it can get overrun.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Someone asked me, like, how do you know what the new cool place is going to be? It's because the Condé Nast and all these places will say, here's the new place to go. And once they do that, it's kind of like, oh, well, we're going to say this is the new place. And so all the vloggers and bloggers will go there, and then other people will follow along. And so sometimes I wonder if it's not like tourism boards like, hey, well, whatever you can do, we want to get on that list, you know? Because like for me, when I think of cool places people don't go to yet, Nicaragua comes up all the time for us, but it hasn't come up on those videos yet because I don't think the Nicaragua Tourism Board has maybe pushed enough money the right way. I mean, I don't know how they decide these things.
It's paradise, and I'll call it that.
There it goes.
So Babette asks, heading to Dublin and Galway in October, which city should I spend more time in? Solo female travelers, 50s, visiting 8 to 9 days. So personally, I would spend more time in Galway. I mean, Dublin definitely has a lot to see.
We're gonna climb.
But you can. Now I'm getting distracted because the dog's talking to me. Shh, stop it. So anyway, there's a lot to do in Dublin. But if you have 8 to 9 days, I feel like there's a lot. Once you get to Galway, there's a lot that you can see, other small towns and villages that are really picturesque, and you should check those things out.
What I would do is when you fly into Dublin, don't go to Dublin first. Finish at Dublin. Get your car, drive. Go to Kilkenny on the way over to Galway. And then when you go to Galway, you can use that as your base and go down to the Barrens and see the Cliffs of Moher and stuff like that. And then you can come back over, drop off your car at the airport, and then take the public transport into Dublin, see Dublin, and then fly out from there. That would be a good thing there. Hey, Seymour, thank you for the super chat. Thinking of visiting Mexico City for 3 days before Cabo. Is it safe or risky? I mean, every place has got risk. I would do it. Mexico City is a cool city. You'll definitely see the huge impact. Remember, it's high elevation, so be ready for that when you are there. But it is worth it. We're going to be going there. My dad used to work there a lot, and he just loves the place. So got to go and film and do some stuff there. We love our time in Mexico. So we're very much Mexico pro Mexico like travel. So that might also influence us. Hello in New Jersey. Any tips for Hungary? Budapest is really cool. Stay on the pest side. When you're going around the rest of the country, don't expect a lot of like fantastic food. A lot of peppers and meats kind of stuff. It has gotten better. Their infrastructure is getting better. We haven't been for a while. I'm actually going back this summer to refilm some stuff there, so I'll have more recommendations for you later this summer.
A couple of people have asked about Singapore in this feed, and we've not been there. It is a closed society, right? No,
Singapore? No, it's a city. It's a city state. It's got tons of work there. There's tons of people working. Yeah. They're very strict. Like
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like, don't they have some kind of?
No, not like that.
No. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. With Singapore, I have a lot of students that actually go study there for a semester. Very much a rules-based society, but it's very affluent as well. See some really cool modern architecture when you are there. So that would be what I'd say about that. Andrea Gonzalez, have we ever seen National Lampoon's European Vacation? Yes. And in my old videos in London,
we are National Lampoon's European Vacation.
And we go to London, I'm like, oh hey, all the look kids, Big Ben, Parliament. I don't know if my kids haven't seen the movie enough to know the joke, but those who do, you know what we're talking about.
Pink Pearl Disney Wishes. Once more before I go, any recommendations in New Orleans for adults who don't drink or party and one that scares easily? There's the World War II Museum.
Yeah, which is very good. It's the best outside of Europe, okay? Because Europe you actually have the stuff there. This one is much more an interactive kind of thing with the stories and all kinds of stuff, and it does a good job of Europe and in Asia and Japan and stuff like that, and Australia. So that's kind of cool. Also, you have a lot of tours. Like you can go to the voodoo tours, and you can go to see the cemeteries. You can go to the garden district and see the houses there.
Really beautiful.
Go see the Audubon house museums. The Audubon Zoo is awesome. The
park.
Aquarium of the Americas. That's the Audubon Park. I'm saying it wrong, but there's that there.
Okay.
That's right across from Tulane University. Yeah. So there's that. Roosevelt Serrano, when is the next Wolters World video? Well, we're doing one right now. We put them out
You're in it, man.
Yeah, you're in it, man. We do it every Wednesday. There's a new video every Wednesday and Saturday. Sometimes I try to put one out on Sunday as well if I have time, because I know that's when people are preparing for their travels and trying to figure out where they should go. So I try to get one out then. I know for May, I'm going to try to get one out Saturday and Wednesday, but also Sunday every time, to make sure, so we can get more stuff out to help more travelers. So there's that. The
real Will Davis. Going to Europe and visiting 5 to 6 countries. Any countries that are cheaper to stay at a hotel over Airbnb? I don't know if you can say that specifically about countries.
My usual thing is, you're going to be there 3 days or more. Usually an Airbnb will probably
cheaper. And partially because you can cook and eat and things like that. But if you're against doing an Airbnb, like specifically through that, you can look at VRBO or HomeAway. That's the other way. Yeah. So, Tosh T.
Yes, you'll need to go back to work. She was little. The law's a different thing, you know?
I'm old now, Tosh.
So, anyway, so Grace McKenzie, hey, do you have any tips for people like me who have flying anxiety? Jocelyn is scared to death of flying. I'm not a huge fan of flying either. What people will tell you is, remember, it is statistically speaking, is the safest way to travel. You're safer flying anywhere around the world than you are driving to work, okay? And also, you'll be happy when you get off the plane at the new place versus getting to work. Also, remember, those flight attendants and those pilots, they want to get home too, and they're going to make sure if they can't go, they're not going to fly. So that's really kind of a good thing as well.
You know what? I also personally, I pray and I have a drink as soon as I get on. I also went to an acupuncturist, and he taught me a couple different spots to kind of hit, like, there's one on your head. So if you ever see me and I'm sitting like this in the airport, it's because I'm trying to hit this one spot.
Oh, is that why you do that? Okay. I was like, why are you trying to
there are different things, like relaxation techniques and stuff that you might want to try. Look into some of those to kind of help you out. I want to also answer, someone's asked about best day trip outside of London, like Oxford, Bath, whatever. I love Bath.
Yeah, but that's
a little more than
that's like 2.5 hour train ride there. But you could do it. Probably the easiest one, like you can go to Hampton Court to see Henry VIII's place and those kind of things. Cambridge is also a quick one to do. Those are probably the two quickest, easiest ones. But you could do Bath with Stonehenge for a long day one. There's a lot of tour companies who will actually do both for you and kind of see the highlights kind of stuff. So they'll take you to Stonehenge. You'll see that. Then they'll take you to Bath to see the baths and walk around a bit. Then they bring you back to London. I mean, you can go down to Brighton if you wanted to. If it's the summer, I'd recommend maybe something doing down there
Brighton
for that.
was nice.
So.
Okay, I'm driving from Arizona to Florida after graduating. Tips for driving across the United States. So, I-10, man. Been on that, done that drive.
We actually have an old video about, it's like 10 things you need to have on a road trip. We also have 5 Love and Hates of road trips that'll help you out with that. One of the things is don't be afraid to stop and get off the road and see some of the things on the way. But if you're just going to do the long straight shot,
that's a hard drive too, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would say plan a break. Like, don't just have like McDonald's at lunch. Like, stop at something and have a little more time to rest your legs up and re-get your energy, then get back on the road because it's going to take.
I like to not just get out and eat. I like to go walk somewhere. Just get the blood flowing again, because when you're sitting for a really long time, it's sucky. So anyway, Mark, will you answer that one?
I don't know which one you pointed
at. This one right here.
The Real Will Davis?
Yes, please.
The Real Will Davis writes, thanks, appreciate you responding to my questions. No problem. Also, you cool with me wearing a Wolters World t-shirt on my vlog videos I make while in Europe? Go ahead. That's why we had the shirts out there, more the merrier.
Be okay with
yeah, send us a picture so I can put it in our thank you video for all the t-shirt people. So we just the order just went out, so you should, if you order the t-shirts on the last set,
this week, right?
They got shipped last week, I think. So
whatever.
So I don't have mine yet, but some other people have. They've already started sending some pictures in. Top 3 overrated cities in Europe: Pisa, Brussels, and Milan. Because they're not as touristy as you'd probably think they are, or as popular as they are. Stephanie Fairland, York, UK is awesome. It's my favorite city to go to. Not village, but city to go to when you're there. It's all good. Hey, Nathan, hope you're doing well.
Hey.
Lonesome Crow. Hey, Rita. I don't know what Rita said, but my wife Venus and I love Mark and Jocelyn. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Very nice of you.
You guys are kind.
So, Roosevelt, I have not been to the Philippines, so I cannot tell you anything. I'm sorry. I'm sucked, dude. Sorry. So, okay. Stephanie Fairland, York, UK, we're seeing with a 6-year-old. Yes, because you have some of the ruins of some of the abbeys that got burned down and stuff like that, so they can see that. That's kind of cool. And the York Abbey, the main York church, the main church in York, when you go there, it's like really, really cool. And they have there's some stuff put together for kids in the city to go see as well. Also, there's a street where the buildings can almost touch together, so sometimes kids like seeing kind of things like that. So there is that. Amtrak Productions, yes. Tolls, any toll roads are expensive. Just to let you know that one, even if it's California or not.
Somebody asked if we were going to some of the Gulf countries, and we've been talking about UAE and stuff, and trying to get down there. For us, the issue is trying to get there when we have enough time to spend time there, and it's not god awful hot.
Yeah, it's like 2 overnight flights in a row, and then 2 overnight flights back.
Then we have to come back, and the kids have to go to school. So it's just finagling the time, but we seriously want to get there, and it'll happen. Yeah.
So Marcel, where do I order a T-shirt? We have T-shirts on sale usually every 3 or 4 months. We'll put some stuff out. So you just missed the last one. We had a UK themed shirt, Italy themed shirt. We had actually this quarter zip. This is my brand new one. They got this one for me, but they didn't get the rest of my order. But whatever. It'll get here. So we have all these things. So they're coming. So Amtrak Productions. Have y'all taken Amtrak? I've never taken it before, and I'm going. What are your tips? That Amtrak Productions is your name. You've ever been on Amtrak. We actually have a Don'ts of Amtrak video that I'm editing right now, and that's a fun one to come out this summer. So it'll help you know what not to do when you're on there.
Hang on. I want to answer the Isle of Capri. For Sorrento, when going to the Isle of Capri, do you need to book the Blue Grotto tickets in advance?
No.
You don't have to. If it's a really busy time, it wouldn't hurt to do it in advance. It never does. But you don't need to. You can just get there because your ferry will come in from Sorrento. You'll get into the... you'll dock, and there will be boats waiting to take you straight to the Blue Grotto, which is actually what we did. We got off, and it was I think was Greek Easter that week too. It was kind of funny. And so we got off, we called my dad. I remember talking to my dad from the dock, and then getting on another boat and going straight to the Blue Grotto. And when you get to the Blue Grotto, be prepared. You get off that boat and you get into a rowboat that maybe holds 4 people. It was like the guy rowing, me, Mark, Caleb, who was like 4 at the time, and then there was another couple in there. And we all had to lie.
Another couple there?
There was. They were on the other side. So it's like 2 people facing one another. Like 2, does this make sense? Like facing each other, the guy rowing in the middle. So you have to lie back on the person behind you. So if you're uncomfortable lying down on a stranger's belly, maybe take a friend. I had to lay on Mark, so it was okay. I was.
So it was a much smaller belly then. It was much smaller belly then. So anyway, John Kavanaugh, when will we see Wolters World Top 10 Spookiest? You'll see it this Halloween. I'm putting that together. Hopefully I'll get to one of the spooky towns so I can film at a spooky town in the U.S. because we've been to New Orleans, Savannah, and some other ones. Boston, but don't want to tell any more because you got to wait and see the video. So it'll be coming, buddy. Don't worry. Sam FW, hey, good to see you. Oh, you just did tips for Quito. So Quito, if you're going to go up to the Mary up on the hill, take a taxi up, and those taxis up there, do not walk up to it. Don't walk up to it.
Don't, because Quito kills you with the altitude sickness anyway.
I would say
take altitude sickness pills.
Yeah, when you are there. It's actually a cool city. I would definitely pay for a nicer hotel when you're there. That's not much of a price difference, so you can pay up for stuff. But there's some really cool churches when you are there to check out. There's some really good guides there as well. Like I would do a guided tour of the city when you're there because you need to know the history of it. So that would be something I'd say for that.
Our guide.
Miguel was awesome.
Miguel was probably
from Southern Explorations, right?
We got him through Southern Explorations.
That's a good if you're looking for ones that does tours of Latin America, Southern Explorations.
They're excellent. Real nice. And Miguel was probably he was
the best guide we've ever had.
The best guide we've ever had.
And the thing is, the guys that owns that company, the Southern Explorations, he was a guide, and so he really makes sure that was good.
Very particular about all of that.
So A. Adams family trip to Portugal. Awesome. What should we see? Cities. So I'll assume you're going for 10 days, 2 weeks. You're going to fly. I would do Lisbon. Well, you have 2 ways to do it. You can do Lisbon and Algarve in the south or Lisbon and Porto in the north. If you want to do more beach stuff, I would fly into Lisbon, spend a few days there. You can go to Sintra as a day trip from there. Evra's another a little bit longer day trip, but you can do that. There's beaches. There's city beaches in Cascais and Estoril you can go see. But if you really want to do the beaches, you're going to go down to the south of the Algarve and you go to Sagres.
Things to do in Lisbon for kids.
The Sagres in the south, you can do this boat tour to the grottos and the beaches kind of stuff. It's nice. In Lisbon with a family, one of the most fun zoos you can go to is in Lisbon. Easy to get around, easy to do. The Oceanarium is nice as well when you're there. You can check those things out. Portugal is a very family-friendly place. People are so happy to have kids there, so it's really, really nice thing. Lots of little parks you go out and hang out in, so that's a nice thing. So I hope that helps, A. Adams. Let's see. Sorry, we're hiding people that are saying really naughty things right now. Anyway, what's altitude sickness? I live in Flagstaff at 7,000 feet. Zach, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, you'll be fine. You know what? And as a kid, I went to Flagstaff all the time.
Flagstaff's beautiful.
It's really lovely town.
And Zach had mentioned people think that Arizona's only desert. No, if you go to Flagstaff, mountains are coming up, starting to the forest that's up there. It's gorgeous.
That's where my Midwestern parents who moved to Southern Arizona, that's where they took me for a few days at Christmas every year because they thought I needed to see snow. And it's, evergreens and everything. It's a beautiful place. And so, no, you won't. And I never got sick there either. But, man, I've been...
Sick where?
In Flagstaff.
Oh, that's not... Well, I'm sorry. Flagstaff is not high enough for altitude sickness. You got to be higher.
You have to be over 10,000 feet?
It's I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have to... yeah.
But I was not well in Quito, and I had a really hard time in Cusco. Actually, Machu Picchu was better for me than Cusco. Yeah,
because it's below. Because there's really a cutoff, and Cusco's above the line where you're going to get sick, and Machu Picchu's below, so you should be fine. Yes, I believe me, because we had this whole thing about it. Marcel, I will be doing filming a video this week with one of my former students about the don'ts of hostels. So we'll have some advice for you with that one coming out. Hey, San Diego. Troy from San Diego is a great place. I love San Diego. I've never been to the UK, but I'm starting college in ICL next term. Any tips? Thanks, dude. UK, you'll be fine. I mean, you won't enjoy the weather versus San Diego, and the food won't be like a San Diego. And all those breweries that are there, and all the food and all the stuff.
You're gonna have to switch from beer to
you're gonna have a culture shock with the weather though, mostly. Mo Man, hey, I do not know anything about the Fulton Parking Garage, New Orleans. Sorry, man, I can't help you out there. Jake, hey, Walt, what is your favorite culture by country?
That's a good question. Most people just ask us what our favorite country is.
I think I like Italy's culture because people, no matter educated, highly educated or not highly educated, you have education, you have manners, you have a knowledge of your history, you have a knowledge of the food and the wines and all this kind of stuff. And so no matter it seems like for us, no matter who we meet, everyone like is almost like a mini guide for their town, and they stay in their towns and they stay near their families. And so you have a lot of connections there, which is really, really nice. So that's one I really like. Alexander Pogue, my last question before I go. Best kid-friendly spot in Nashville. Broadway is not a good place for kids.
No.
When you're there.
Not unless you want them to get an education.
On drunk guys hitting on ladies.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have much else. Because I've only gone to Nashville by myself with work.
That has never been a place we've taken our children. Sorry.
So, Kai Sport, what's the weather usually like in Munich at Oktoberfest? I would wear this. Like, I have a quarter zip on and jeans. That's what I have. I might have a rain jacket with like a thin rain jacket with me. Once you go in the tents, you're fine. But outside, it can be a little wet sometimes.
And I would put on a tank top and a t-shirt under that, and then this. But like I'd have a tank top, a long sleeve t-shirt, and this because I get colder.
She doesn't have as much blubber.
Thank you, darling. So anyway, for me, I'd take another like layer or so, and I would also stuff something in my purse in case I needed a little more later. Mostly for me, it's my cold feet, so take good socks.
Yes, or take something like me that you can put your cold ass feet on. Pardon my language. Your cold feet on at bedtime, and you're like, ah. Someone likes to do that to me occasionally. I don't know who.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Me.
Oh, gee, hey, in Zurich, there's a nice restaurant right on Lake Zurich where you can sit out and watch like the fountains go while you're looking at the mountains. It's gorgeous. A couple nice churches there. Go to Bahnhofstrasse and see the stupid expensive stuff they sell there. Totally cool to see because, oh my God, it's so expensive, but it's so cool to see. So that's a quick little thing to do when you're there. Australia, hey, hope you're all doing well. Natalie, hello from Australia. Preparing for our first family trip to Europe. Your tips and videos are amazing and very helpful. Hey, I'm glad we can help out. I'm sure you guys have a great time when you're here. I want to guess are you probably doing like Australia to like Bali or something like that, or Singapore and then to Europe. If you're getting an early morning, book your hotel the day before so you can get that room right away so you can go drop your stuff off and kind of like detox and relax before you start doing stuff. But have a great trip. Alex Mesa, Chicago during the Christmas season is wonderful and a beautiful sight to see. It really is. I actually was in Chicago this year at Christmas time and filmed a couple Christmas videos there, but it was like the 20th of December, so I didn't put them out this year, so they'll be coming out for Christmas next year to help people with Christmas in Chicago, probably around Thanksgiving.
Sam FW asks if Switzerland is family friendly. I'm going to tell you something. The only place we have ever been where I felt like my child was unwanted was in Switzerland. We took Caleb to the Picasso Museum what town was
Lucerne.
that in? Lucerne. And this woman was very mean to me, and I said, I'm buying these tickets and we're coming in. And I held his hand, and he was well behaved and everything was fine. And literally a guard came and followed us around, like as if though we were criminals and we were going to take the things off. I don't know if they thought he was going to like lick his fingers and rub them all over the paintings or what, but they were hostile toward our kids. So that's a big example. But just generally, there's like this slight hostility to children.
Like you won't find too many like children. I mean, granted, it's been a few years since we've been there. Maybe it's gotten better.
Maybe.
But my friends that used to live there were like, we had it with our kids. They left because like there was never kids seating. There's no kid menu. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff, but
it's also really beautiful, and there's like kind of like great
Oh, yeah,
climbs.
if you don't have kids and you got money, that place is awesome. Go.
You know, but I feel like it's a great place to get some energy out, like maybe as a stop through on the way to somewhere else. But otherwise, not my gig.
What's up, Liam?
Not my jam with kids.
So there was one up here asked about with Endgame coming out this weekend. Say hi to everybody, Chumbers.
We're tired.
I'm tired. Well, he's got to get to bed.
Yeah, it's about time.
But
I'll go start them in a second.
right,
but I want to know
back
this.
down. So one person asked, since Endgame is coming out this weekend, do you go see movies in other countries? Yeah, we do.
All the time.
That actually helped me learn German and Spanish when I was in those countries. TV helps better to learn the language, but yeah, we'll go and you'll see a lot of countries will actually have you can go see the movies in the original version. So when I lived in Berlin, I always went and saw movies in English actually because I could go see them just fine. So there's that.
And some places will, if they come out really soon, really quick after, and they haven't had a chance to translate them or something, you know, or there's, you know, often
Marketing
subtitles
stuff.
and things like that. So yeah, and it's great.
Yep. So Phil Lynn, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm going to China this summer. Been there before, but it's been 4 years. I'm worried about street food, tap water, squat toilets. Any tips? Start practicing the squat move right now. I'm telling you right now, I'm thinking about going back next year, and I've started to start working on my squats and
Do
my
squats every day.
yoga and squats. You need that to be like nimble and stuff like that. Street food will still get you, so make sure you bring your Pepto and Imodium. I ate it all the time. Don't care. Yes, I didn't poop myself, but I almost did. It was horrible. But I don't care because the food was so good.
Street food is why you had to worry about squat toilets. Oh my gosh. Don't drink the tap water, and you need to get bottles that are sealed and cans and things that are sealed. Make sure you do that. Also, I was told that you really need to wipe cans and things off when you're there because they don't necessarily have like good storage for those. So keep that in mind too.
Mario, I'm going on exchange to England and Birmingham next year. Any pub recommendations? Birmingham is not a big pub place. It's a little bit more Puritan-y. So I don't have any particular ones there, but you'll be able to find some. Don't worry. You find your own and you find a good one and you enjoy yourself and get to know the people there. You'll be just fine. Kid Sid, thank you. We're glad we can be your favorites. Mike Walker, tips for Hawaiian Islands. Make sure you let your bank know you're going because they're going to why is all this money disappearing? Because it's expensive there. So have a heads up. Laguna 98, Freddie saying
Go
hey.
ahead. Sorry.
Laguna 98. Saying hi.
Hi. What happened?
What's your question?
Oh, best place to practice Spanish for me, and I don't really speak Spanish, but I understand some by ear, was Nicaragua. It was really clean. There's very little accent in any way, shape, or form. And so I was able to understand probably about 90% of what was said. So that was really great. Pink Pearl Disney Wishes. DuckTales in Portuguese is helping me learn the language. Disney movies help a lot as you know the lines by heart.
DuckTales. Woo!
The kids were watching that in the car. We had a little hour-and-a-half long road trip back and forth today, and they watched some DuckTales. But yes, absolutely, watching something in another language. That's a lot of how I learned Portuguese. Was I would read the subtitles in Portuguese, and then later I switched and I listened in Portuguese and read in English, and between those two, really got a lot.
Hey, John in Canada. Thanks for the shout out there, buddy. Really appreciate it. Monte Cristo, so awkward. Sorry about that.
Are we awkward?
Sometimes.
We do.
Alex,
because I went like this to my husband.
or probably because we're talking about bathroom stuff. I don't know. So Graham Roth had fried pig intestines in Hong Kong, and his bowels were messed up the rest of the trip.
Well, intestines might mess up your intestines.
Actually, this brings up something. If you have like a touchy tummy, one thing I would say is before you go on a long flight, don't try different foods you haven't eaten before, because your stomach might not be used to that. Like. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to fly and you're kind of nervous, eat stuff you know that day. Like when you're at the airport, sometimes you're like, oh, I try something different there. If you get a little nervous, don't experiment
before a flight.
Yeah.
Experiment right before you go to your hotel.
So Cindy Cold Iron writes, if you've never been to Europe, what country would you start with first? If you're looking to just put your toe into Europe and try stuff, road trip around Ireland would be probably my number one. If you want to say
Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland War II.
And then I guess England, but England gets a little more pricey.
Yeah. But if you want to do you want to do a lot of culture and see stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, I've seen that before and that and that and that. Probably Italy would be a good one to start with. So there is that. Sam FW, would you recommend Morocco for a family with teens? Yeah. We went with our tween and kid, and we had a good time.
Hey, Holly Georgia Peach. I've heard people who are gluten intolerant can eat European breads with less GI problems. Have you heard similar?
Yeah.
Yes, and I have experienced similar. I can't eat a lot of gluten things. What are you giggling about?
Tosh.
Tell me in a minute. So
just read it right there.
Anyway, so I can go to Italy and eat pasta until my heart's content and never have any kind of stomach cramps, nothing. I'm completely fine. Is that poop enough talk for you, Tosh? Anyway, so yes, it is easier. I don't know if it's something with the GMO'd wheat or if it's just that they're making more things by hand and less processing, but anyway, there you go. So, would you recommend Morocco for a family with teens? Well, you did?
Yeah, I said yeah.
I see how much attention I pay to my husband. Yes.
And no one is surprised. But you don't pay attention to me. That's it. Oh, you go lick me. Don't let her do it. No.
We love each other. I'm feeling silly today.
Anyway. Have you been to Greece? Yes. Yes,
I'm half Greek. I've been there a lot.
Gotta go see the family. So someone said they get sick on planes. I would actually talk to your doctor about that if you're getting sick on planes to see what their recommendations are. If they might say something, because I'm a doctor, but not that kind of doctor, so I can't really help.
Yeah, I'd talk to your doctor about that too.
Michelle Carter, hi, Mark and Jocelyn. Love all your videos. Thank you. Any recommendations for hidden gems that might interest a 31-year-old and my parents on a UK road trip, especially in Wales and Scotland? Okay.
Wales in general.
Yeah, Wales in general. It's very much outdoor stuff. It's very much outdoors, hiking kind of stuff there, so you might want to have some things there. Scotland, with all the hidden castles and stuff around there, I would do the Scotland part with them. I know when we've gone with my adult parents there, and they've enjoyed the castle stuff and the mountains and stuff like that. So that's been a good one for them. Tosh and his poop jokes, gotta love it. Loki YD, great watching your. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Great watching your videos around the world. Found you guys before we first went to France and the UK. Hoping to Ireland and Germany someday. Fellow investor here too. Hey, awesome. I'm glad we can help out. We got videos in those places too. You have a great time wherever you go. So that's awesome.
Derek asked, hang on, are we nomads? We live in a place.
Yes.
Theoretically. But we travel all the time.
So Heather, I thank you for the super chat, and I promise we will use that money only for gelato with the boys. Their next trip abroad is actually to Italy, and so I will spend every one of those loonies. Everyone awesome. Will go towards their gelato fund.
Nathan asked if we've seen all of the Avenger films. We have.
Yes,
we've
seen
22
everything.
Now.
Yeah, everything. We actually went to Endgame yesterday. It was well worth it. But we're not saying anything else because you got to give 2 weeks. Let people find it. So there's that. Time for a kiss. Thank you very much for the super chat. Are there any places in the world you keep secret? No, not really. Because
those little places that a lot of people don't go to, we want to share. And we know that like a lot of people aren't going to necessarily go to them just on our recommendation because they're small and they're out of the way. Like Ouro Preto, Brazil. Absolutely loved that town. It was great experience, and we tell people about it all the time. But I know that I'm not significantly making a difference in their travel, probably. But we definitely share those things.
Yeah. Todd from North Hollywood, California. Always been a huge fan. Thank you. Appreciate the love there. Let's see.
Lonesome Crow. I'm supposed to tell your wife Venus that it'll be fine if you move to Germany.
It'll be fine if you move to Germany.
I don't like the food.
Johnson doesn't like the food, but I do.
Great museums.
Mm-hmm. Good infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Really good. Trains are always on time.
That's right.
I'm just not a fan of the food.
Yeah, we have discussions about this, so that's why I'll be in Austria, Germany by myself for a little bit. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. What was the country you wanted to see the most? Have you got to see it yet? If so, what was it like? I'd be in heaven if I got to see Ireland or Japan. This is Phoenix. So, for me, place I really wanted to go to Right now, it's Egypt that I haven't been to. That's one I really want to go to, and I don't know. I'm like, I want to go there. Israel, we're going to. I actually have tickets for that one, so I'm getting excited about that. I know you were like, Rwanda was your big one.
Well, we're going growing up, it was Greece for me, and then I finally got there. So that was always number one on my list. And then
I think
in
Scotland
years,
was one of
Rwanda.
mine. Scotland was one of mine. So.
Italy and France were two others in Europe that I really wanted to do. And as far as like Central and Southern, just Latin America generally, I always really wanted to go to Costa Rica. Got that.
Yeah. You know. All right, so let's see.
Is Cinque Terre worth it? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's worth it. OG's been asked a few times, Cuba creates a red flag with the renewing your global entry. I don't know. I can't tell you. I honestly have no idea. So I don't want to give you any information that might be wrong. So sorry, buddy. My bad.
What does that mean?
For global entry.
No, not that. This one right here.
Mark's seen with his adult parents. Yeah, true.
I don't get it.
No, because I said my adult parents versus my parents. You know, like what I meant by
adult. No, Liam.
See there? No, you.
No.
Nope. The adult.
Sorry,
no, they're joking because I'm saying my parents were adults and I'm already adult.
Oh, I get it. I'm not very bright.
Yeah. So Lonesome Crow wants to move to Castle. I've been there before.
I've never been to a circus in another country. Someone asked about that. I have not. I have not been there. Liam.
Okay, so 2013. Why don't you put him in bed and I'll talk for a while.
Okay, bye guys.
Joss will be back here in a bit. I'll take over for now and try to get through some stuff. So, best food in Europe, I would say France and Italy for me are my two favorite ones, but there's a lot of good food anywhere you go, obviously. Some just are tastier, like France or Italy for me. What beer should I order in Germany, 2013, Sat J? You want to buy whatever the local beer is, because the beer is very regional in Germany. It's not like in the U.S. you drink a Budweiser or a Sam Adams or something anywhere around the country. You're going to get stuff that's really from that place. So in Bamberg, you're going to have the Rauch beer. If you're in Berlin, you might have a Berliner Kindle. If you'll have a Kolsch type of beer, if you're in Cologne, the little small ones. So just ask them, what's the local beer here? And get that, okay? Sometimes it'll be the name of the town you're in. So that's kind of a cool one. So I hope that helps. Drake Bryson, what's the cheapest country in Europe? It's not necessarily a cheapest one. Like Eastern Europe tends to be cheaper. Southern and Eastern tend to be cheaper if you're looking for those kind of things. But best bang for your bucks, probably Portugal or Spain, maybe Greece. But Greece is a little more expensive to get to if you're coming from the U.S. Let's see. What are the best places to drink beer in Europe? These are countries I think have great beer. Germany's got great beer. Belgium has great beer. The Czech Republic has great beer. Lithuania has great beer. Those are the ones that I recommend. You can get some good ales in Scotland and England as well. So there is that. And I've learned how to like those over time. OG, Mexican ceviche versus Peruvian ceviche. Come on, you can't go wrong with either of them. So it's like, which child do I like best? I love them both equally. So there's that. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which question to get to next here. There's somebody going through. That's why we go back and forth. Your thoughts on flying from London to Dublin or train and ferry with two kids? I would just fly. Just save yourself the time, and you can actually get there pretty quickly that way. If you do the ferry, it's kind of fun with the kids, or you might do a ferry one way and a plane back. I mean, it's up to you for the person who asked that one. Alex asked me, have you eaten chocolate from different countries? Do you think I can get like this without eating chocolate in other countries? Yes, I have had chocolate in many other countries out there. Don't worry. Any tips for a student wanting to go on a gap year after grade 12 and backpack the world? So what you need to do is I have a video. It's called 3 Keys to Long-Term Travel. You need to check it out. It talks about the financial side of it, the mental side of it, and the prep side of it, okay? Because going for a gap year abroad can be a lot of fun, but if you're going to think it's going to be a vacation for 12 months, it's not, because after a while, even traveling wears on you. So do be mentally prepared for it, but I do recommend to do it because you learn so much about yourself when you do a gap year and do those things. So I do wish you a great time on there. 2013, I'm glad I can help out with the advice. So, Intel Pines, have you been to Havana? No, I have not. We're working on that right now. We found one thing we could have gone with, but then they weren't going to let us take the kids. So we're like, no, if we're going to go, they want to take the kids with us. So we're kind of working on that one. Let's see. Let's see some other questions up here because it's jumping around again. Shout out. Oh, got that one. Sorry, because like what you guys, like I said, what you guys see here is different from what we see here, and so there's like a big, huge gap here where I'm scrolling up and there's like 50 comments that we didn't even see. Okay, so how to avoid the tolls and save money when you're on the highway. So for those of you traveling Europe or the U.S. or other places, sometimes there are tollways you can get on. The benefit of them, they're better roads and they're faster. The problem is you have to pay a lot. For example, in Jamaica, there's like a $25 one-way hour and a half drive from basically the North Ocho Rios down to Kingston, the capital. And there's nobody on the road, which is great. So you get there like in an hour and 20 minutes maybe. But it is expensive. And the thing is, if you take the toll road, you have that. But if you don't want to take the toll road, you want to avoid those, you got to take the local roads. And that means a lot more traffic, a lot more issues. If you're worried about like traffic and stuff like that, it's not going to help you. And it can be a lot more like worrisome when you're renting a car. But if you are going to take the non-toll roads, make sure you get a GPS if you're going to be in some countries if you're not sure where to go. Okay. Lonesome Crow a while ago wrote visiting Prague, Bavaria area, and Paris in June. Tell me why it's okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Lonesome Crow. My wife already did answer that one. So, Kathy Colton, tips for an 8-hour layover in Toronto. Head in. It's going to sound silly, but go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. It is actually a super cool museum. Okay. Yeah, plenty of time to see it with 8 hours. So there is that one. So, got some new questions here coming up. All right, just big new jump again. 6 days in Italy, 6 days in Germany, 3 in other 2 countries. Okay. Oh, I see. That was Paul Jones again. So, if you only have 6 days in Italy, I would do Rome, Florence, Venice. If you had to do that way, Germany, I'd just stay down in Bavaria and do like Munich, Bamberg, Nuremberg, stuff like that to help you out. And then Amsterdam for 2 days, Switzerland for 2 days. I would just do Lucerne. It's a cute small town in Switzerland, well worth seeing. Let's see. Jim Custany, any advice? Yes, hi, she's back.
I was telling you in case you didn't know.
Oh, I know. I could feel your love for me. Oh, there you are. Jim's asking what is a good neighborhood to stay at in Rome. The thing is, you want to stay near the center of Rome. You don't need to stay out of town. It's not worth the trouble of the public transportation. Termini Station has a lot of cheap hotels right by it. Sometimes it feels a little shady, but usually okay. They can be dicey.
Like half a mile out.
Yeah, but you should be okay. I always recommend staying more towards the touristy part because you can walk all around Rome. I mean, your feet get tired from all the walking, but you don't need. There's no point to stay far out. So, Jocelyn,
what
would you like to go on? Alex, no, we have not been to Egypt. Oh, you come down here to talk again, so
I
get some question.
by you because I love you.
Oh, because you love.
What do you not like about Sweden?
The prices. Malmö. I don't like Malmö. I never liked Malmö. I went there.
I would say the prices are pretty rough, but it's a beautiful country.
Yeah,
it's people are cool. Really clean. The people are cool. I don't know.
The Via Veneto, Tosh. Yes, you can talk about the Via Veneto when we did those things.
What about the Via Veneto?
Yeah, okay, so Heather W. is talking about, Heather is relating to the gap year kind of stuff, and she says, binge watch. They haven't seen the long-term video, but that's the thing is, any place you're going to go, it sounds silly, but we'll do sometimes, like, we'll be folding clothes, and I'll just put on a playlist of my stuff or other people's stuff, a place we're going to go, just to be like, hey, what should we be looking out for? Is there anything there that we might learn from it? And sometimes, like, what are you going to be doing when you're folding clothes? I mean, just put on something on your TV, put something on your computer or your phone so you can use that, and it gives you a little time to, like, get some ideas of what to see. So when you have that.
What countries are the best to travel as a beginner traveler?
Place where you speak the language.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So places where you speak the language, and maybe countries that are, like, lined up, like Brazil and Portugal, you know, obviously are two, I don't know.
So 2013 Sat J, is London rainy in June? No, the last couple of years it's been hot and sunny all June long. So should be okay with that one. Another person writes, we'll be in Lucerne November, December. What about weather? Cold, snow. That's what you'll have. Most likely wet-ish. So make sure you're ready for that one. Zachary Levine. Have you ever told your kids that if they misbehave, they have to sit on the wing? No, but I will now. I have to remember that one.
No, but we do put them in the corner.
Yeah.
Like they have timeouts in corners wherever we are. Maybe not on a plane.
Yeah.
Probably just turn off the TV. on the plane. But yeah, that's great.
So the Bahan, is Scotland good for solo travelers? What cities do you recommend? I think it is. Well, Scotland's good in general because the locals will talk to you. Good place to visit there. Obviously, Edinburgh is the best. I would say if you can get to the Isle of Skye is really cool.
So
Small towns
great.
like Plockton. Inverness is nice to go to too.
I like Inverness.
So there's some stuff there for you.
Defiance asked any plans for some southern South America countries like Chile and Uruguay. So we went to Uruguay we went to Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay last summer, and we had a great time. We haven't been to Mark's been to Chile, but that was long before Wolters World. So we still have to get down there, and we have to get to Bolivia.
Bolivia's cool. I like Bolivia.
Yeah, we have to do those in Paraguay. I think for the southern. That's all we have to get yet.
And then we got the 3 ones on the top.
And then we've got some more at the top to do.
Yeah, Phoenix, Ireland would be a good one for a first time one. Let's see. We'll go a couple more because the kids are getting restless and it is 9:23. And Game of Thrones is over, so we can hit people back. What's up, buddy? You need my phone for something? Okay. For the TV? Okay. Answer.
Can he watch Roku? I'm sorry.
No, you
I got out of the zone and I'm sorry.
Go get a book.
Okay.
So Olympia Park in Munich, I don't know. I think there's better museums to see in Munich than other things. Than that, let's see, Chattanooga, Tennessee. We actually drive through there when we go down to Georgia quite often. Really good children's museum there. Nice little town. Though, why do they have that bend in the road when you're coming down the highway? You're
that's
like,
awful.
Say like 90-degree turn on the highway there.
So. Hey, Tony, safe travels getting back from Oslo, and I'm really glad that we could help you guys with your trip to Oslo. That's fantastic.
Oh, gee, did you guys have any memorable moments at Notre Dame? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It was horrible with the fire and all those things. So glad they could save so much stuff.
I was shocked at how much
how much they
there.
saved.
As a preservationist, I was amazed at what was able to be saved.
Yeah, it was really tough. Yeah, so Lonesome Crow suggests French Polynesia for a couple. Yes, I would totally do that.
Want to go?
Sure.
Okay.
But we got our first trip together in 10 years this last month.
Kind of awesome.
No, this month. It was this month. It was the first time because, grandparents are busy or something.
Someone asks thoughts on Olympia Park in Munich. Worth going to?
I did. I said.
Oh, you did.
I said go see like the Pinotex there. You have better times doing stuff outside. Do a day trip to someplace like Fussen or Neuschwanstein to see those things, or Nuremberg. It's better use of your time. Chris Bible is more Asia travel in your near future. Not near future, but it is coming back. We're getting Africa, more Caribbean, Middle East the rest of this year. And back to Europe too, and some U.S. stuff.
Have you been to Miami or no? Yes, we have both been to Miami. I haven't been there in about 10 years. It's been
I've only been to the airport in Miami. I haven't actually.
Oh, you haven't? You've been? Oh, I didn't realize that.
You had a good time at that
I've
party.
been somewhere Mark hasn't been.
I haven't been to the Bahamas either. You got me beat there.
I know.
I've been to Puerto Rico. You've been there.
know.
So we have that. Paul Jones, we have 3 days in Switzerland. Which city should we visit? I love Lucerne. That's what I'm going to tell everybody every time. Lucerne is great. So there is that to do. Let's see. What else?
I don't know.
You're done. I can tell. Jocelyn's like she just.
I left
few
for a
too
little
many
bit.
Spritz Aperol at the party.
I did have a couple 3 Spritz Aperols.
We were at a birthday party for our oldest son's godmother's son. He's turned 4. So it's when it's a little kid's birthday, it's more for the family friends and the family, and so I was the designated driver and Joss was the designated drinker. So she had a good time and I had a good time too. So
yeah, but I left all of this and I went up to tuck the kids in, and now my head is out of it. Sorry.
Yeah, so don't worry. So Nicholas, we're looking at going to Armenia. We're looking to do like a Central Asia trip in the future. So that is on our to-do list. Zachary Lehman, have you ever thought about doing a cruise line like Royal Caribbean or Carnival? We have considered doing that. We're looking to do one so we can do some videos and do things like that. So that will be coming.
I did one when I was 22, and it was really fun. But I was 22, so everything was fun.
And I've done some cruises in Europe with some companies. So but those are different than the big Caribbean cruise lines kind of stuff.
Chris, we will be in Rwanda and Tanzania in Africa this year.
So. And then we'll finish out with Nathan Washington. You plan on visiting Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and do a love or hate someday. If we do a cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, we'll probably be there a few days early. And so we will do some videos for that and probably do some Miami videos and things around there. So we'll have some good stuff like that. Oh, wait, I guess we could do a couple more. Bizarre street foods you've tried. Bugs. I have had bugs. I have had crickets. I've had scorpions. I've had intestines. I've had
octopuses,
gelatinous fat with the nerves in it.
Nervetti.
Yes.
Little baby octopuses, or maybe they were squids, and they had a quail's egg shoved up in the head.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. Yeah.
Tosh. I'm glad Tosh got it. The entire hour and a half we've been here, he got out that we were Marvel fans. Yes, when I was a kid, I was a big Marvel fan. But everyone likes Batman, so you can't say I'm a Batman fan because everyone loves Batman. So there's that.
I don't love Batman.
Well, you're weird.
I love you.
Aww. Anyway, Michael Mahan, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Paris, I know you like to stay in the Montmartre area. Is that pretty expensive, Airbnb or hotel? I would do Airbnb. And no, the reason we stay there, that reason I found the neighborhood the first time is because it was where I found a good cheap hotel. So we stay there because it's in our budget. It's not too expensive, so that's nice.
And also, like, although there are tourists, there are a lot of locals living right there. It's not just tourists. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the real Will Davis, no, we're not. The shirts that are on sale, they won't come to you in time. There's nothing really on sale right now for the t-shirts. Sorry about that. Rebecca, International Mobile Plan. Yes, we do use that. I will say the people that just use their Wi-Fi and try to do phoning from internet calls. Man, if you need a call, you need to make a phone call to get a taxi or get something tonight. You're not going to find Wi-Fi when you need it. So I make my students actually get data plans.
Jet asks about would we recommend studying in Innsbruck or Salzburg? I love Innsbruck, but Salzburg is a close second between those two.
What I would say for you, Innsbruck, you'll get a much more Austria experience. Salzburg gets a lot more tourists, so it's going to be a different ways that way.
2 days in St. Petersburg.
Go to the Hermitage. Go into the main castles or the main palaces there.
Church on the Blood.
There's a museum of curiosity there that has all kinds of crazy stuff in there. We have a couple videos on St. Petersburg that'll help you out with that. So I would just check those out. That'll give you some good ideas because we're running out of time here. Francisco 1, thank you for the super chat. This May I'm heading to Greece. I'm going to Athens, Delphi, Nafplio, and Santorini. That's the exact trip I did with my parents back in the day.
I love Nafplio. That's one I just think it's so awesome.
You can hike the steps all the way up, and I hiked all the way up, and I got to the door and I knocked on it, and they let me in. They're like, "Well, you're the first one. We'll let you in for free because we don't have our money yet." So that was kind of a fun thing.
That's cool.
And we wish you luck on that trip, and do have a great trip.
Super.
So,
all right.
Anyway, Room with a View finally caught y'all in a live chat, and we're finishing off.
Oh no. Okay, but they asked a question, so we need to do this because this always happens to them. How to find a job in Europe? That's not an easy question.
You know what? It's really tough. If you're a college student, I would say getting a master's degree in Europe would be your best bet because it's going to get you an advanced degree, which some places require you to have that to get the visas. Also, it gives you a chance to train in that country, and the people that hire there know what people learn in that country. If you're looking for like kind of a backdoor way to get in, teaching English is a helpful way to go. Get a TEFL certificate. Teaching English as a foreign language, that might be something that can help you out. But it's not as easy as it used to be. I will tell you that one right now. Okay, so it is tough. It's not an easy thing. All my working in Europe got because I have a PhD, so I'm a professor. So I was training for that. That's where my stuff came from. I went to school there, and so those things helped out. Maria, yes, asked, have you been to Christmas markets in Germany? Yes, I've been to yearly. Yeah, yearly. So we got.
Is it too late to plan? No, absolutely not. You can certainly do it now.
Oh, sorry, I'm a EU citizen. Oh, you're fine. You can get any job you want. You're good. Yeah, exactly. How do I find a job in the U.S.? Apply. Sometimes you got to move around. That's one of the things.
Look at nonprofits. If you have skills that are usable, a lot of times small nonprofits don't necessarily get people with really good skill sets, like in business trades. So you may want to check that out.
Hey, and there's one that asks about the tropical island. I guess you're talking about the thing that's on the river there in Berlin. I have been to that. If you're talking about Wannsee out there, I've been to that.
But they were talking about Museum Island.
Oh, Museum Island? Yeah, I love Museum Island. Yeah, it's great there.
Right, but
anyway. Adam Tenhouse, thank you for the super chat. I love the Mosel Valley. Yeah. We actually were at a wine tasting, and the wine dude there said he likes the Mosel Valley wines better.
Yeah.
If you're going to go there, Cochem is a great place to stay. That's where I would base yourself out of. Anyway, we got to take off.
All right.
We wish you all a very wonderful week ahead. Great travels this summer, wherever you're going to go. Hopefully we'll get a few more of these out during the summer, but hopefully our videos can help you travel better wherever you're going to go. We wish you great travels.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. And we couldn't get this to the stars. Don't know if we can get it to stop, but we wish you all the best.
I didn't even
Bye.
think